Welcome to HXP TV, everybody. We got a great episode today. We're going to do volume 2 of my trip. I call it ETX Aporkalypse. I got some great friends. Check out volume 1, episode 1 of ETX Aporkalypse number 2. It's a lot of numbers going around, guys, but I go to East Texas every year. I hunt with Danny Butts, Dustin Machado, Dane, Schubert, Blake Campbell, all these guys, Blaine Campbell, all these super awesome guys. They treat me like family. They've become great friends of me personally and Houndsman XP. And I got tons of video this year. And of course, it's all destined for Houndsman XP TV. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it again, everybody. I am able to put some of the bulldog catching videos on YouTube, but all the really cool videos are on Patreon because there it can be whatever we want. So I just want that to know, you guys. Check out the Houndsman XP Patreon page. Join us there. Help support Houndsman XP. Right now, we're using that Patreon page to do the ballot initiative push in Colorado. They're trying to ban mountain lion hunting with dogs and bobcat hunting with dogs in Colorado, and Houndsman XP has joined the fight vigorously to oppose that bill. This is just animal rights extremists that have absolutely no thought process in responsible wildlife management. This is all just feel-good legislation. That's total BS. When Colorado's wildlife biologists are coming together to oppose that bill, that should be a total obvious red flag that it's bad. It doesn't matter how you feel about an animal like a mountain lion being killed. Their meat is excellent. You can eat mountain lions. I've eaten mountain lions on multiple occasions. I know you have too. Yeah. And you can't tell me, oh, they're beautiful. Elk are beautiful. Deer are beautiful. Turkeys are beautiful. Of course, jackrabbits are beautiful, the most beautiful. And yet we can hunt them and nobody really cares. Mountain lions are no exception. It's part of a responsible, healthy management of animals on the landscape with human interaction. And sorry, everybody, humans aren't going anywhere. So anyway, that's my spiel. There's a lot of armchair biology out here in this world today with the internet. And guys, listen to me. We have to manage predators in a responsible way. I am not at all advocating removing them from the landscape. And no houndsman is. If there's no lions, there's no lion hunting. And we would do anything to keep lions on the landscape. Houndsmen were instrumental in saving mountain lions in the West in the early 1900s for that exact reason. If there's no mountain lions, there ain't no reason to have these dogs. And we sure love hunting a lion. Tree and free is the majority of what most mountain lion hunters do. Anyway, there's my spiel. Check us out on Patreon, you guys, and support Colorado in their fight to keep hound hunting going. For this episode of HXP TV, you guys, I had a lot of footage from ETX Aporkalypse 2. And we're going to start off this episode. Chad, you're a super badass hog hunter yourself. You've been around. I want you guys to all settle in and imagine this with me before I play it. We go in on a bay. The dogs, these pups that are a little inexperienced, come in on the bay. They bay the hogs, but then the hogs come together. And I've never experienced this, you guys. This is the first time. A hog rally.
Yeah.
So like all these sows come together and they basically like make a fortress of pig bodies. And they make this very specific sound. Chad, can you do it?
No, it's a bunch of grunting. 5 or 6 noises all at once. I don't know how you. No, it's like that moment going and stuff, you know. But it is eerie as crap. The first time I heard it, I remember I was a kid, it scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what the heck it was because there's so many of them doing it at the same time, and it's like echoes a little bit. And you're like, is it in front of me, behind me? Like, where is this ruckus? And they pop their teeth and grunt, and it's just it does what it's supposed to. It's unsettling, you know?
It's crazy unsettling. And those pups, there was 2 pups. They went in, the hogs rallied. I think one of the pups got hit by a sow, and those pups were very nervous to go in on that rally. Yeah. So it totally worked. And there was about 50 hogs in that group that they had circled, and they were just circling. The pups were just circling around it, but none of the pups committed to the bay until older dogs came in And surprise, surprise, a bulldog going in there broke up the rally.
Yeah, that'll do that.
That's
That'll
what I love
definitely.
about bulldogs. These young hounds are just like, this is kind of scary. A bulldog's like, let's go.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't care at all. Sounds great. 60 of them? Nah, no big deal at all. So this is the hog rally, you guys. I have 2 videos of the hog rally. I'm going to play them both. Just imagine if you were there. That sound is so weird. It's just like such a unique vocalization, and the sows were making that. Now I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to tangent lightly. Chad, do you think it's true that when a boar hog is being pursued by hounds, he will run through a mob of females to lose the hounds? Do you think that's true?
Yeah, quickly, I think, like a lot of times they just run away and they like to go in the same spot. So I think sometimes they may do it and not be doing it on purpose, but there's definitely times they do it on purpose. So I think, I don't know if every time, your hogs get brushed off on a smaller hog or something that they could bay or just catch, and, some dogs just aren't good enough or trained enough to like, no, we're going after this one. Some like big hogs, some like little hogs, but I think about half the time they're just going through the same areas and they're just like, hey, this is easier, I'm gonna take this, but there's times you'll see it happen. We were catching wild hogs out in, outside of a fence, but in an area that had a hog fence, and a big boar hog took them by their holding pen where they had hogs stored to release on the thing, like one of them game ranch things. And that's the only reason he went all the way up into a corner and then ran by. There's no reason for that adult mature boar hog to go by the hog pin other than to do something like that.
Yeah.
So he didn't
There's only
dead end, but he went in and like he was surgical about it. It worked.
Smart. There's only one animal in this world I would believe would do something like that, and it is a hog. They're so intelligent, and way more smart than a dog. That's for sure. Smarter than me with my grammar right now. But yeah, I was really blown away by that hog rally. The dogs were getting tired at that point, so we brought those pups in. We cut a fresh team in, and they went out and they had this next hog bayed quick. And you guys, I got some really rad footage. I kind of mashed up some cell phone footage together to make one longer clip. But this clip, we got some of the bulldogs striking here, you guys. So they ran in there. They had this hog bayed in like 10 minutes, quick. And we let in rubble. I got to lead in rubble. I was all pumped, you guys. You know how I feel about letting out a bulldog. It's the best part of hog hunting, okay? Rubble is such a badass, you guys. He leads perfect. He's got this great energy where he's not psychotic pulling, but he's not just walking beside you, tripping you. He's right in front of you. He's 4.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good.
4 or 5. But you guys, like, just it's like that energy, that electricity coming down that leash into your body is electrifying. You're holding him and he's just like breathing. That dog is just breathing, focused, looking dead ahead towards the bay. And you got that leash and it's taut and he's just pulling gently. Those muscles are just rippling in his body and he's just waiting. And then you hear him whistle to let him go and you just click, let him go. And it's totally unnecessary, but I like to say, get him. You know what I mean? Like, go get him. And I unclip him.
What you were going to do anyway.
You could just be like, give him a hug and unclip him and he's gone. But there's something so fun about verbalizing that emotion, So I'm very verbal, obviously, but I'm just, go get him, boy. And I just unclip him and he just bolts. So this bay was really cool, you guys. They bayed the hog up against a cliff, like up against a bank. and in a stream, and I got to lead Rubble in directly above him. And so Danny was like, well, Rubble knows where the hog is. Just cut him loose. He's going to run and just jump off that embankment and drill that hog. And you guys, he's crazy accurate. That's exactly what he did. He just runs, jumps off that little embankment, and just boom, like hits that hog right on the ear. So without further ado, you guys, here it is. I just love when a bulldog smashes them. It's the best. And like I said, you guys, the full video is on Patreon there when we run in and grab the hog and flip him and everything. So we ended up killing that hog. It was a sow, I believe, and we just wanted to put the sows out, keep the boar hogs as bar hogs. That property, the landowner was adamant that he wanted bar hogs everywhere for meat. Their meat quality is incredible, you guys. It is. I only eat game meat at home. I haven't bought meat from the store in over a decade. Oryx, deer, javelina meat. I'm telling you right now, you guys, a East Texas bar hog, probably a bar hog anywhere, is the best game meat ever. Period. It is the best. The flavor, the fat, the marbling, it is unbelievable. It's better than farm-raised pork. They don't do anything but eat, sleep, poop, repeat. That's all they do. And their meat quality is unbelievable. So that was my first experience with bar hogs. Nobody bars hogs in North Texas. That's all just shoot to kill because they're such an agricultural pest. But here in the piney woods, they're just, nobody really cares. They're just kind of like a food source out there. So unfortunately, that sow got the cold steel. But that was a really cool bay. That was a really cool bay. You got any crazy water bays, Chad?
Yeah, that's well, I had cur dogs, plenty of cur dogs, but I had a soft spot for the terriers, and that was their kryptonite because they didn't have the legs to move through.
Yes,
and that was when it got bad for them. That's when
they would try to swim out to the hog.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
I'd say they part the water like with their hatred, and then they could run right to them, but. They can get in some trouble in the water because they couldn't move away very fast. And hogs just have acceleration. It's like they can get up to full stride and full speed in like 3 strides. They're explosive. Yeah. So even a lot of hogs don't know how to turn. If they just run away, even if they're running away, the hog can get them and pepper them a little bit on the way out. So but no, I've mainly had trouble trying to get. My funny stories are like trying to get tied hogs back across the water. So we catch one, tie one, and it was worth bringing out alive, and tie them all up, and you're trying to swim with this hog, and they're very, I mean, they'd sink, but they aren't like a cannonball. They're you don't really have to drag on them, so you can. I put him on my shoulder like a purse, and then had his head up against mine so that it didn't get away from me. You know what I'm saying? If my head's on his head. He can't, I'd have his head up here. And I was like, if my head's above water, his head's above water. There's no separation. He can't clock me, So I had him on like a hog purse. So no funny hog bay stories. Nothing more than like what we saw there. But that's some funny.
I've had
a horse before on me. That was a nightmare. But
yeah, you are a genius, and you're like a Nostradamus of dog hunting because you guys, this next bay. Danny Butts was not going to go into the water and catch that hog alive. He instead tied a rope around his bulldog's neck and we did a little pig fishing. You guys have heard Chad Reynolds talk about terrier fishing down a chimney for a raccoon. This is for a hog. This place was this beautiful rolling pastures. It looked like a golf course. That's what I called it, the golf course bay, just to help me remember it. It wasn't a golf course, but it looks like one. The dogs bayed a hog way over here. We come back to another dog that was alone right by a road. We're talking feet off the road. So we're like, she's just over there being dumb. She's waiting to be picked up. We don't know. But as we got closer, the barks per minute on the Garmin lit up, and we're like, whoa, she's got a hog bayed like right on the side of the road. We pull up. She's about 15 feet off the road, bayed in a little wood lot. And she's got a hog bayed. We cut in 2 pups to help her out. The pups were learning, and the pups go in and bay with her. The hogs swam across one of the big ponds, and one of the pups and the experienced dog swam across. One of the male pups stayed behind with me. So they bayed that hog, and then we had to go all the way around this big pond on the buggies. We did. They did. I stayed and filmed. It was so awesome, you guys, to see that bay in the wide open. The curs actually caught the hog several times, but the hog would break free and, hold its ground, and they ended up just baying. Danny comes in with his bulldog, a young one in training, ties a rope around her neck, cuts her loose. She drills that hog. They go into the water. The hog goes in the water. Danny just pulls on the leash and just reels him in and catches the hog. Yeah.
That's experience right there.
Caught, baby. Caught. Yeah, it was awesome. And we were, if you guys remember in ETX Apocalypse 1, Volume 1, the video before this one, Danny wanted me to do that with Rubble. And this is how dumb I am. He's like, tie a rope to Rubble, let him go. I was like, okay. Tied a rope to Rubble's leash. As soon as he said, send him, I unclipped him. It was like, go get him.
I don't know why he asked me to do it, but I get it. You know,
I have a 20-foot rope in my hands and a bulldog in the pond with the hog caught. Yes. The second I let him go. Exactly.
That's awesome.
The second I let him go, I was just like, oops.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. They do so good in the wet mud and everything, you know, but they'll scrap with you really good. Sometimes you can get behind them if you have them legged and they'll like pull away from you and they can like almost like you're pushing like a snow blower, you know, and sometimes they'll walk you up and out, you know, but more often than not, they
That's
pose
what we need a East Texas snowblower, and it's a hog. We need that on a t-shirt. Well, guys, this episode is going to run in long, so I like to keep them less than 25 minutes, you guys. There's a lot of cool footage. I want to wrap it up with this simple, short video. It's a little heartwarming. Sometimes you can find little teeny tiny hogs, and we did on that trip. I caught a little baby cute one. They took him home and raised him as a pet. Dane, our friend Dane, had done that in the past, and Danny was like, oh yeah, Dane has a pet hog named Spot. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, he's like any tame pig, like a dog. He just lives around. He comes to his name. You can throw a bottle. He'll go pick it up, like the whole thing. I was like, dude, this is awesome. We have to go see him. So we're going to wrap up this episode, you guys, with a nice little video of Spot, the pet wild hog. Enjoy.
Spot, come here, Spot. Come here, Spot. What, Spot? You don't even want to know what I did to your cousin, Spot.
Spot was one of the highlights of my trip. He was just super cool. So thanks you guys for joining us here at Houndsman XP TV. I hope you guys appreciate it. Like and subscribe. That helps us a lot. There's videos coming out weekly. We're going to have to take a brief hiatus. I'll be in Canada, you guys, as I go every year. Thank you, Freedom Hunters. Thank you, Houndsman XP, Babine Guide Outfitters. They've been so awesome. I went 3 years ago. It was my first time, and I feel so fortunate. They've invited me back 2 times. It feels great, and I thank everybody involved for sending me to represent Freedom Hunters and Houndsman XP. So there's going to be some awesome bear hunting footage coming your way, you guys. And we're going to bring some of my older footage to HXP TV as well. My first time I was there, we saw 65 bears in 5 days. So it's a bearapalooza out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, you guys. We've seen grizzlies, we've seen moose, tons of black bears, a wolf. So it's a great time, you guys. So the footage will be rolling in hot from Canada in about 3 weeks. So thank you guys for joining us here at Houndsman XP. Like and subscribe. Check us out on our Patreon page, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.